What I do in tech, it's very disruptive. It's trying to challenge the world and make it better. Obviously, you're not going to create, and there's sometimes a little bit of a disconnect when you're investing in the Snapchats of the world and you're like, what is this actually really doing for humankind? Even though it's generating wealth for my investors who are public employees and teachers and people that you want to generate strong wealth for their pensions. And so that's really, as a fiduciary, what keeps me going in those instances. But it's definitely, there's so many aspects of venture and private equity that are really trying to create a better world.
Entrepreneurship felt very expensive to me. It felt like that expensive store on Fifth Avenue that you walk by and you could see the shiny objects from the window, but it wasn't worth your time walking in because you couldn't afford it. So it was always something that I had deep desires to do, like deep urgings to do, but didn't know exactly how to do it.
I love to try new things and learn new things. There have been periods of my life and my career, especially when I was in investment banking, where I think I shifted my mentality from having a growth mentality where I wasn't afraid to try because I wasn't afraid to fail, to other times where I stopped trying and I was very concerned about failing and not keeping up with the pack. And what happens if I didn't make this promotion or the other promotion? And so I've kind of circled a couple times, I would say, within my life to have to come back to what I think is a better mentality, which is the growth mentality, which is saying, try, you're going to fail. Okay, what did you learn? Now try again. Because at the end of the day, you can't stop. You have to keep going.
But the good thing about women is we've struggled for centuries. Things have just never been handed to women, and we just know we have to fight for things. And so the thing that women are really good at it is being resilient and just going for it. And so actually, I know so many women now that are so good at just saying, I know you rejected me, but that's okay. I'm going to go keep marching on and I'm going to make it work.
So far less than 10% of executives in venture are female. Yeah, it's abysmal. I will say that I think that the journey has changed, or the experience has changed since I've been doing this, in particular since I've had my own funds that I was raising for, across the venture spectrum, so LPs as well. Venture and finance in general has definitely been a men's club for a really long time. Why are there so few female executives? As a female, when you go to raise funds, I think that there's biases. I think that there's network. I think that there's a number of things, including inappropriate behavior that gets played into that journey. And it's sad, but I think it's also changing, luckily. And I can tell you that our last fund that we just raised, that we just closed on, the number of female LPs that we pitched to was far different than my first fund.
I believe when we look at the problem of climate change, there's two ways to think about how we're going to fix this and really fix it in terms of getting to zero. We can go back to having an agrarian economy, or we lean into technology to fix the problems that technology have inadvertently created. And I think there's a real clarity that comes from looking at the end solution, the end state that we need to be in as being zero emissions, because it really highlights how reducing emissions is not going to be enough.
The way in which I think of failure is it's part of the business. And so I personally have always known not to fear failure. And the reason being is because you learn from it. So even if you do try something and you fail, it's not the end of the world. You do go on, and you can go on and learn from those mistakes and go on and build something better.